Thank you. The Simcoe County District School Board acknowledges that we're situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe include the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Bottawa Dome nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people.
Okay, so my camera, I can't see anything because my camera, I just lost picture again. But at this time, I'm going to ask that Assistant Superintendent Dashni help with the roll call, please.
Yeah, I can do that. Susan, how would you like me to do that? Would you like me to go around and do introductions and pass it around?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, I will start and then I will just pass it to whoever I see on the right. And then we can just do that until we get through everyone. So my name is Robin Dashning. Really excited to be here tonight. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Education. Really happy to see some former parent council, school council members that I've worked with over the years. So that's always great. And just excited to be here at PIC to help out with the running of today's meeting, and as well as to give a mental health and well-being update to the team. And I will turn that over to Catherine.
Wasn't expecting to be called second. I'm Catherine. This is my first year on PIC. I have been involved with my own children's school parent council for a couple of years now. And I'm really excited to be involved in this and to get the opportunity to dig a little deeper. So thank you for having me.
We can pass it over to Rachel.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Rachel Greenman. I'm a mom of four. We moved to Simcoe County 4 years ago from York. As I mentioned before, my oldest just joined UFT, neuroscience. And I have three other children, one in Nantyre Shore, which is a high school, and two in a public school, in an elementary school, sorry, in Lake Simcoe. I'm very eager to help. It's my second year, I think, in TIC. And through all my life, now my oldest is 18, I always volunteer, and it's very important to me to give back to the community, and especially when it's come to children. I was the chair in York County and here in other places. I'm sorry about the noise. As you can hear, I'm in the hockey arena and I'm freezing to death, but please forgive me. And I'm very, very excited to be here, and I'm here to help in any way I can, in any capacity. Thank you so much. And I'm moving on to whoever the gentleman Robin will say, because I don't see anyone except for myself.
I will move it along. And Rachel, I love that you are at the hockey rink. I think that's great. I'll pass it along to Natricia.
Hi, I'm Natricia Laraka. This is my final year on PIC. I have been on parent councils within Simcoe County for the last 16 years as well. My oldest is in college. My youngest is graduating high school, and I'm currently at the high school at Banting because I am a part of the Banting robotics team as well.
Wonderful. I will send it over to Superintendent Playford.
Good evening, everyone. I was attending last year, so I do recognize some faces. I hope you recognize mine. I am the Superintendent of Education with the Indigenous portfolio. I also have Adult and Continuing Education, Simcoe Shores, which is the alternative education program, and 4 high schools, Nantyre Shores, Nottawasaga Pines, Banting, and Bradford. So I'm sure that that some of you are familiar with those schools. So that is my portfolio. So I am here, similar to Robin, to give a very brief update on the Indigenous education agenda item. Thank you. Good to see everyone.
Thanks, John. I'll pass it along to Fatima.
Hi, I'm Fatima Mohammed, again, mum of 4, all of them in elementary. My main reason of wanting to join PIC, I'm very committed in trying to get minorities, especially Muslim minorities that I'm exposed to join parent council. Because when I first started council myself, I was the only person of color in my school. Not the school's fault in any regard, but I feel like people from minorities sometimes don't understand the benefits and how welcoming school counseling can be. I was very much welcomed. And so that's something I kind of do with the mosque. I have workshops and I talk to parents about, how to communicate with your school counselor, how to communicate with your school, because sometimes they're just lack the confidence. And that's the main reason I decided to join PIC. And Hillcrest School Council, I love them. They're the best. So thank you.
Welcome and salam alaikum.
Walaikum
Wonderful. Wonderful. Next, we have Melissa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Wilson. I am happy to be here again. This is my 5th year on PIC. I think it's my 5th year. Always been a part of the school community for a number of years. Happy to support, happy to be involved, and I'm here for whatever needs.
Great. Thanks, Melissa. We'll move over to Sydney.
Hi, everybody. My name's Sydney, and I have 3 children. 2 are in school at Emma King. The oldest is in grade 2, and my middle is in SK. I've been on our parent council for 3 years and been the chair for the last 2 years, and looking forward to starting that up again this year. But yeah, I'm really excited to be on PIC. I know I've gone to the October event every year, which has been awesome. So yeah, I'm very interested to get involved and happy to help wherever you need me.
Thank you so much. Moving on to Ben.
Hi, everybody. This is my 2nd year on PIC. I'm vice principal up at Georgian Bay District in Midland. I have 2 teenagers at Eastview and Barrie, one who's graduating this year. So I'm working through that. My daughter says I'm not ready for this, so I'm getting ready for the transition out of high school. And yeah, happy to be here and answer any questions for secondary.
Thanks, Ben. Moving on to Sinem.
Hello. I'm Sinem. I've just started PIC. This is all new to me. Prior to this, I've been on the parent council now for 3 years at Marshview. I got 3 kids in Marshview, one with special needs. That's what drove me to try to get more involved and stick my nose into the school a little bit more than I should sometimes. But that's one of the main reasons. My youngest, well, not my youngest, my oldest son who has Down syndrome and autism, that got me involving in everything. And then with my youngest, who's in his 2nd year of kindergarten, who's also autistic, being as involved and having the school know me very well is a benefit, I guess.
Thank you. I will move over to Jamie Campbell.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Campbell. I'm the Assistant Manager of Communications for the Simcoe County District School Board. I also have a son who goes to school in Wasaga Beach. He's in grade 8, so also getting excited for high school in our house, which we know we still need to calm down and enjoy grade 8. I've been supporting the committee for about 8 years, I think. I'm always excited for my time with this committee and happy to support bringing the committee's ideas to life and promote the great work within PIC and school councils.
Thanks, Jamie. Next up is Carla.
Hi, everybody. This is my 2nd year with PIC. I have also been with parent council since my son was in JK and he is now in grade 6, so about 8 years. I also got involved like Sanem because my son has special needs, and it drove me to be a part of my school community to make sure I was known by the principals and by staff. And it's worked out great. I love it. And I am here to support and learn as well. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, Carla. Moving over to Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy Toner. This is my second year joining PIC. I am school council chair at my child's school as well. I have 3 girls. I got involved because I wanted to support staff as best I could to support the students, because that all trickles down. And I just think it's important that if you want to see change, you need to be the change. So joined to do the best I could to help.
Wonderful. Thank you. Next up would be Trustee Connors. Who may be frozen. So I will jump over to, oh, Trustee Connors, you're back. You froze for a minute. You're up next.
Hi, sorry about that. I have no idea why I froze other than the cat's wandering around. Maybe she hit a button. I myself got involved when my daughter joined elementary school, probably back in 2006, and joined parent council and led me all the way up to becoming a trustee. I do have 3 children, one still in the system. She's at Bradford High. One in college and one just graduated university. So I hear what you guys are saying. It's a fun run, and you learn a lot along the way with all of this.
Thank you. Next we have Superintendent Sidlowski.
My apologies. I have now had to join through the phone. This is not my day for IT.
Susan.
Yeah, it's I don't know why I'm sitting here looking at a completely black screen. So my agenda's gone, my speaking notes are gone. So this is going to be super fantastic for our
It's going to
first
be
meeting.
great. Are you sure you want Kim to
will.
record this? Or should we shut her down?
I think I will get the IT department to doctor some of those recordings. So
we'll all be filtered up and we'll look fantastic. I love it. I love it.
100%. Thank you for supporting with the introductions, Assistant Superintendent Dashni.
My pleasure. And last but certainly not least, we have Kim Sauvé here tonight.
Hello, I'm Kim Sauvé. I am the Executive Assistant for Superintendent Sidlowski, as well as Superintendent Playford. I have had PIC since 2018. So if you ever have any questions or just need to know anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm your go-to.
Thanks, Kim. All right, Superintendent Sidlowski, we'll see how you make out here.
Well, so first I would like to talk about the mandate of the PIC. And the mandate is to support, encourage, and enhance parent engagement at the board level to improve student achievement and well-being, as well as provide information and advice to the board on parent engagement, communicate with and support school councils, and to undertake activities to help parents support their children's learning at home and at school. So that is our PIC mandate. I understand that this is a new year and it's a great year. We did have a chair, but her children have graduated and gone and moved on to beyond high school. And so now we are going to be electing a new chair for this evening. So I would like to say that I'm very proud of myself because I actually printed out the script instead of having to rely on my computer. And so I will begin. As per board bylaws, I would like to outline the process for this evening's virtual elections for the chairperson and vice chair of the Parent Involvement Committee. I will be designating Assistant Superintendent of Education Robin Dashney and Vice Principal McCabe to act as a teller to count the emailed ballots for the election if required. If only one person is nominated and elects to stand, that member shall be declared elected by acclamation. Where more than one nominee stands for election, a vote will be taken by emailed ballot, and the member receiving a majority of the votes cast shall be declared elected. If no nominee receives the majority of the votes cast, the name of the member receiving the fewest votes shall be dropped from the emailed ballot, provided at least 2 nominees shall remain on the ballot. If no nominee receives the majority and 2 or more nominees are tied, respecting the fewest votes, those nominees will be asked to email Executive Assistant Sauvé and me a number between 1 and 10. Prior to the nominees emailing their numbers, I will choose a number between 1 and 10, which I will share via email with Executive Assistant Sauvé and Assistant Superintendent Dashney. Once Executive Assistant Sauvé and I are in receipt of the numbers emailed by the nominees, I will advise, oh goodness, sorry, it's these glasses. I am aging rapidly. I will advise Assistant Superintendent Dashney, who will state the number chosen by me. The nominee whose number is closest to the number without going over will remain on the ballot. If all of the nominees go over the number chosen by me, or all of the nominees choose the same number, I will choose another number, and the above process will be repeated. If there are 2 or more nominees tied, and 2 of these nominees choose the same number that is closest to the number chosen by me without going over, and the other remaining nominees email a number that was not the closest or went over the number chosen by me, those nominees will be dropped from the ballot, and the above process will be repeated for the remaining nominees who choose the same number closest to the number that I chose without going over. In the event of a tied vote, the 2 nominees remaining, the process outlined above regarding tied votes will be followed. The nominee whose number is closest to the number chosen by me without going over will be the successful nominee. If the 2 nominees go over the number chosen by me or pick the same number, the above process will be repeated. When I call for nominations for the office of the chairperson of the Parent Involvement Committee, a seconder for the nominations is also required. I will then ask for each person nominated if they are willing to stand, and I will then be asking 3 times for any other further nominations. Once nominations have been completed, those nominated will be given the opportunity to speak to their nomination. The order of speakers will be based on the order of the nomination. Once the nominations have been to email the ballot, Executive Assistant Sauvé and me. The ballots Dashney. Vice Principal McCabe will provide a report to me, and I will then announce if the candidate has the vote and chairperson of the Parent Involvement. Committee members by motion may order the destruction of the email ballots cast in the elections. The new chairperson will assume the role of the chair and will conduct the nominations for the office of the vice chair. I will now call for nominations for the office of the chairperson of the Parent Involvement Committee. So are there any nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate Melissa Wilson.
Is there a seconder?
I would like to nominate myself if it's possible.
Okay. Before you nominate yourself, I'd just like to know if there's a seconder for Melissa Wilson.
I will second Melissa. It's Carla.
Thank you, Carla. Melissa, do you accept the nomination?
My apologies. Yes, I do.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? Rachel, you can nominate yourself now. Thank you. Is there a seconder for Rachel's nomination?
I'll nominate her. Sanem?
Thank you. Rachel, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? And finally, are there any further nominations? Melissa, as you were nominated first, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me again. As I mentioned, I have been a part of PIC for 5 years. I have been heavily involved in the school community. I've been a school council chair, I've been a vice chair. I have always aimed to serve my community. And just like so many others of you who have shared, I have 5 children of my own, one on the spectrum. I always say he takes the spectrum and he eats it whole, the entire thing. And he's the reason for me being so heavily involved and wanting to make a difference. And so if you will allow me, if you will partner with me, we are able to make a difference within PIC, within our school community, within our environment, because as another parent stated, we have to be the change that we would like to see for our children and for our school community. And I love what I do. And whenever I stand to speak about my child, Elijah, who is always the forerunner in everything that I do, along with my other 4 kiddos, I stand for all children. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Melissa. Rachel, would you like to say speak to your nomination?
No, because I didn't see that it was Melissa. So if Melissa put herself, so I'm supporting her. I didn't see, because I told you before, I don't see all the pictures and all the images. So I support you. I love you, and I think you will be wonderful. Forgive me if it's not the right protocol, but I didn't know that you are nominating yourself, and I support you. So thank you.
No forgiveness at all. If you would like to run, you should run. But I appreciate you. Thank you.
So at this time, I'm going to be asking Rachel, are you withdrawing your nomination?
Yes, I'm supporting Melissa.
Okay, I'm going to ask you again. You are withdrawing your nomination.
Yes, forgive me. I didn't see that she put her. I didn't.
That's
Sorry.
okay. That's okay. I just wanted to confirm. As there are no other nominations, and Rachel has officially withdrawn her her nomination, then I'm happy to acclaim that Melissa is now the chair of the Parent Involvement Committee. So, round of applause for you. Thank you very much, Melissa. And at this time, I'm going to pass this over to you, Melissa, so that you can proceed with the selection of a vice chair.
Susan, do you mind doing it? I know you have tech issues, but if because it's not in the speaking points, I thought you were going to do both and then pass on to the chairperson. Sorry.
I can do that. I was thinking that perhaps we could take a couple minute break while I can see if I can sign back on and get on a computer. So we're gonna have a 2-minute break while I try to do this again, and I'll let you know. Thank you.
Congratulations, Melissa. I'm going to send you the speaking points for the evening, so now you can just take some time to read through it. It's just going to follow the agenda.
Absolutely.
Go, Melissa, go.
Right. Pray for me, Rachel. We're in this together.
I've sent them to your PIC email, and then whoever becomes vice chair, I'll also send them to them, because every meeting we just have something like some speaking points to follow. And like Susan right now, if someone falls into technical difficulties, then the other person can just pick up the meeting.
Okay, well, back to the program. It would appear that my computer has officially failed me. And so we're going to continue now. Um, Kim, can you tell me if everybody's online? I can't see with my phone here.
Yes, and then if someone wants to, once Susan completes, if someone wants to nominate, you can just put up your hand and I'll say your name and then you can speak so we don't have confusion.
Fantastic, thank you. I will now call for nominations for the office of the Vice Chairperson of the Parent Involvement Committee. Do I have any nominations?
If I may be so bold to nominate Carla.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have a seconder?
Natricia is seconding.
Okay.
And Rachel.
Thank you. Carla, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Alyssa,
thank you.
everybody else, thank you.
Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? And are there any further nominations? Okay. Carla, would you like to speak to your nomination?
Sure. Well, thank you guys so much, Melissa, too. I think working together is going to be great. I look forward to working with all of you and making changes for PIC and helping our parent council committees get more engagement and getting parents more involved. I think that's the goal for everybody within their councils and for us to support them and do that. So I look forward to that. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much, Carla. And seeing no further nominations, Carla is acclaimed as the Vice Chairperson of the Parent Involvement Committee. And all those in favor? Okay, thank you very much. And this is carried. Okay, so I will now turn this over to you, Chairperson Wilson.
Oh my, Superintendent, thank you so much again for all the nominees. I really, truly look forward to partnering with each and every one of you to making a difference within PIC and the surrounding school area. And so please remember that even though you guys have nominated me to be your chairperson and Carla to be your vice chair, we're a community. And so we stand together so we can make a difference. It is not Carla and I's committee, it's our committee. And so thank you again. With that being said and being thrown to the wolves right away, and you guys are going to help me steer this meeting, it's good to pay attention. So So
I would love to help, but I can't see anything on my screen right now.
I'll walk you
Just
through it,
gonna have to
Melissa.
wing it.
So if you miss anything, just let me speak up and I will stop you.
please,
And
yes.
okay.
So thank you guys again once more. And so did everyone get an opportunity to revise the minutes from our previous meeting? And our agenda for this evening? May I have a motion to approve the minutes from, what would it have been, Susan? May?
May.
Of
We already
of
approved
May?
them virtually, actually.
You
So
approved
those
them
are done. Yep. You just have to
Okay.
do the agenda for this evening.
Okay. Okay, so thank you again. So I can move on from there. Is that okay?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
just
I
read
can-
the first portion and do the approval of the agenda.
Okay.
Yes.
So may I have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting?
I can, Natricia.
May I have a second?
I'll second, Catherine.
Catherine, all in favor? Say hi. Motion carried. Thank you so much. Moving along. There's a declaration of conflict of interest. Catherine Kosher needs to disclose that they are an employee of the board.
Yes, that is me. I
That is-
disclose that I am an employee of the board.
Thank you, Catherine.
And I'm sorry, I forgot, Melissa, so this is totally my fault, but Natricia also has to disclose. I forgot that she would have to do it again.
I thought Nutricia had done that previous school year.
Yes, I just learned that she has to do it every year.
Okay.
Because there's new
got it.
members, I guess, so they need to know. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I disclose that I'm also a board of the employee or a board employee.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Nutricia. Next item on the agenda, there's no presentation. And moving along to item C for decision, the 2025-2026 School Council Connection event. We are recommending the approval of $2,500 to be spent on the event. Is that okay? May I have a motion to approve the allotted amount?
I say yes.
I motion to
Nobody's
approve.
saying anything. Why are we so quiet?
Yes.
We're not excited?
Yes, for sure.
I can say yes too.
We're super happy because it is going to be at Barry North this year on October 28th. And it is at a different high school. Every year we do it at a different high school. And we will have presenters there. And so they will have all the same thing like last year with all the different vendors. And then, yeah, we will definitely have more coming, more information coming.
Okay, thank you. So may
I
have a mo-
apologize. Yeah,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
I didn't get the seconder.
Oh, I did not have someone that first.
Natricia.
Nutricia?
First Maria, then Natricia.
Thank you. And so at this time, the Parent Involvement Committee approve the maximum amount of $2,500 for our upcoming connection nights. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. I think we all need some coffee. We're still sleeping. Is it the Thursday that's throwing everyone off, or is it Susan's internet connection?
It's internet, computer, it's everything.
Oh my gosh. Item D for information, mental health and well-being update. And I would presume that I would read this information. Mental health and wellness will be a standing item on our agenda moving forward. Please bring any question to our meeting where we will have someone from the mental health and well-being department. Please welcome Robin Dashney, the Assistant Superintendent of Education.
Thanks, Melissa, and
You're
congratulations. A part of my portfolio is supporting the mental health and well-being department. So just a couple of updates. It's been a really busy September already. I'll start by putting in the chat. There's a link there to a Stuart Shanker self-regulation parenting course that is actually filling up quite fast. It's a virtual program. We've had great feedback with it in the past, and we have lots of parents taking part in that. So it's open. You may want to promote it at your school councils. All the information and the registration information is you can find in the link. There are sessions during the day, and there's also sessions in the evening. So there's some flexibility there. And this is, we're bringing this back on demand. We had such a good participation in this previously that we wanted to offer this right away. So that is something that we're offering parents. The other update that I wanted to share with everyone here tonight is that we've been really busy at the Education Center. We've brought in well-being and student ambassadors from every elementary school and every secondary school. And they have spent a full day at the Ed Center involving an outdoor education, involving in a number of different workshops around mental health and well-being. But really the primary objective was for these students to work on a plan with the staff that they came with to create a sense of belonging at school. That is something that our climate survey has shown us that kids are asking for. So who better to take the lead in that are the student leaders. So it's been great seeing these student leaders step up and coming to the school board and engaging in a variety of activities, but more importantly, making a plan with their staff to bring back to the schools to get their schools involved in these activities and these different initiatives that they're taking part in. So that's been great. It's been great to see that happening. And so early in the school year, it was important for us to do this in the first couple of weeks of school so we could start these initiatives right off the hop so we can gain traction and gain momentum. And then lastly, something that I'm very proud of, not only of this department, but of this school board, we have just opened a class at Innisdale Secondary School called the Take a Hike class. There's a foundation called Take a Hike Foundation, and it's based out in British Columbia. And it is a foundation that has open classrooms in 16 different school boards within British Columbia. It's a mental health treatment class that's grounded in land-based learning. So what the program looks like, it's identifying some students who may be struggling at gaining their credits to graduate high school because of a variety of different mental health concerns. So what we've done is there was a call out to start the program in Ontario. 2 years ago, the associate director worked with the Take a Hike Foundation. We were awarded the first class in Ontario. We're the first of its kind in Ontario that we've opened at Innisdale. We have a teacher working in that classroom. We have a children and youth worker, as well as a mental health clinician. We've got students that just started this past week. They just got into school this week, which is awesome. They are working on their academics while being involved with ongoing mental health treatment that happens daily in both group forms and individual forms. And they are also going to be engaging in land-based learning throughout Simcoe County at least once per week. That's a really big tenet of this program, getting outdoors, learning, about outdoor experiences in land-based learning. We've partnered with the Indigenous education team, and they are bringing some of that indigeneity to the program as well. If you get a chance, look at the Take a Hike Foundation website. The graduation rates are outstanding for the students in this program, and we are so excited that we are able to start this program here in Simcoe County, first of its kind. And it was a real exciting moment when the first students arrived in the classroom this past Monday. So, and they've come back every day. So we'll take that as a success. I think another important part of this program, which is great, is the board hires the teacher and the child and youth worker. Take a Hike Foundation hires the mental health clinician, and the mental health clinician is a 12-month employee. So sometimes these programs, the kids do really well from September to June, but sometimes we lose them or we lose momentum over the summer. The mental health clinician will stay in touch with the students and the families over the course of the summer months, doing check-ins, maybe, meeting for a coffee or some virtual clinician sessions. But I think this is a wonderful opportunity. Really thrilled that we as Simcoe County District School Board are the first in Ontario as they are looking to open these classes across the province. So really excited about that. And I thought that was a really important update to share with everyone tonight.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Dashney. Is there any comments, questions, feedback for Superintendent Dashney?
Yes, I have a question.
Of course.
Hi, how are you? You mentioned TK Foundation. T from
Yes.
Tanya, K from Kale. TK?
Sorry? It's Take a Hike Foundation.
Take a Hike.
I'll put the website in the chat.
Yes, that can be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Just so people can look at it. They've got a lot of their British Columbia. They've got a little section for us, but we're just starting. So, but it's a great program, and I'll make sure I get that in the chat once we move on to the next agenda item for members to explore and learn more about. And I would say if you have a look at it and you've got questions, either myself or somebody else from the department will be back at the next PIC meeting and bring those questions to that meeting as well. We will be happy to answer them. We'll provide updates on how the kids are doing. We're really excited about it.
Thank you.
I have a question, Carla.
Go ahead.
Do they are they referred to you? Are they referred to the program by the school board? How do the kids kind of get, I guess, selected for this program?
Yeah, great question, Carla. It is, we're aiming for students in grade 9 to 12, and we are working through the referral process with our social workers and our attendance counselor as they are working with families and students who have some mental health needs. They've got a profile as to what a student would look like for the Take a Hike Foundation. And they have a referral process. So, and they would bring that to the mental health and wellbeing management team, and they would review those referrals to see if and when that student would be a right fit for the program. So, but as it's, as we are rolling this out through the school board, we'll have we already are having administrators reaching out to us and people from the special education department reaching out to us. So it will come from schools when they say, oh, we have a kid that would really fit this classroom. And then we would start having those conversations.
Okay, thank you. And then one more follow-up. So will there be a capacity? Is there only a certain amount of kids per classroom that will be?
Yeah, another great question. The cap size is at 20. We can get 20 students in this class. Right now, because it is a brand new program and, we're just getting things off the ground, we've got 10 students in the class. A couple are wavering a little bit, which is natural for a brand new class. You're asking a lot of students to come to a new school, come to a new program that hasn't even began before. So we're starting slowly and anticipate, and we hope to build that and expand that program going into semester 2. But right now, we're just thrilled. We've got kids. It was a big endeavor, as you can imagine, but we've got kids in that class right now. And the staff have done an outstanding job in individualizing program for them and getting them ongoing treatment.
Beautiful. And one more. So this is for anybody in Simcoe?
We're starting right now in Barrie just with our initial students, but it will expand to all in Simcoe County. We just wanted to get the ball rolling. Right now, it's and I wouldn't even say that. We've got some Barrie students, we got a few students outside of school, but yes, as we look to expand the program, it will be like a county class where students from all over Simcoe County will be able to apply and refer to this program.
Perfect. Thank you.
You answered even all my questions as
Oh,
well.
good.
So, yes,
That's
but,
why you guys are a team.
yeah, but Catherine has her hand up for a question. Go ahead, Catherine.
I do, thank you. And sorry, like the link that you just shared for the Stuart Shankar self-reg, is there a link that we can share with our council chairs regarding any more information about this program?
Yeah,
with
I will
the school board?
put the Take a Hike Foundation link in there when we move to the next agenda item. I'll get it in there for you for your own information. And if anyone else wants to, I also know that Barrie Today or one of the local papers, they just did an article on the Take a Hike Foundation program as well. So even if you look at some local media, I'll see if I can find that too, and I'll see if I can link that in the chat as well when we hit the next agenda items.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Robin, for that very healthy update and for all the questions.
My pleasure.
Moving along to the next item on our agenda for tonight, it is Indigenous Education Update. Indigenous education will be a standing item on our agenda moving forward. Please bring any questions to our meetings where we will have someone from the Indigenous Education Department. Please welcome at this time no other than John Playford, Superintendent of Education.
No other than, wow. And Robin's always a hard act to follow. But if you didn't notice, Jamie Campbell just put in the link to the news article in the chat. So that's my way of deflecting all of that stuff. Look at the chat, and then I'll just whip. Welcome everyone. Pleasure as always to see some new faces. Previous faces. I will not say old faces. Previous faces on the screen here. So I just have a short update since last year. So. I'm sure most of you are aware that this coming Tuesday is September 30th, which is National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. There'll be things happening in schools all over the county. So those of you who have children in elementary school, secondary school, we leave it up to the schools to decide what they wish to do. But there should be something if you pick up your children, or if you don't, ask them what they might have experienced on that day. We also, since COVID, we've ensured that we do things at the education center, because we feel that a lot of stuff happens in the school, but not necessarily everywhere else. So we've been doing some things at the education center, and this year we will do the same. But a little different this year is that we actually have a vice principals meeting that Robin is actually involved in organizing, and through himself and leadership and Indigenous department, we decided it would be a good idea to actually put the activities that are happening at the Ed Center on the agenda for the vice principal. So that's actually an item that they will be going to attending. So it usually looks like there's I'm sure most of you have been to the education center. I don't know if you've been there lately over the last year, but there's a wonderful teaching and learning circle with a turtle in it, just near where you walk into the building. That's usually where we have activities, etc. So we encourage staff from the Ed Center to come out and engage with that. So it's not very long, usually 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, but we have usually start with a land acknowledgement and a smudge for those who are interested. And then there's this year there will be some storytelling based on some stories from residential school survivors. Someone will speak about allyship and reconciliation. And then wind it up, quote unquote, because we always have people that stay for conversations, but we will have some literature in the Ed Center for people to see, what might be in the libraries or in the schools. But we also have, what I'm quite excited about is we'll have a gallery walk of the first year update on the reconciliation commitments for the central department. So some of you might remember me talking about this last year. It's okay if you don't remember. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I will go through it for you. So a year ago, before the summer, a couple of years before the summer, the Indigenous Department, myself, decided that it's great that things are happening outside in schools and so on, but why don't we need as a board to commit to reconciliation? And other boards have done it in different ways. They've generally come up with a few things, and you can see that, look at their websites, to commit to as a board. So a board. We went one step further and decided, yes, as a board, but how are we going to articulate that for every single department in the education center? So there's 8 departments that are involved. Just quickly: student achievement, human resources, business and facilities, mental health and well-being, research, special education, diversity, equity, inclusion, and communications, all have specific commitments. So within those departments, lots of conversations with the department team members, framework was developed, commitments were articulated and discussed with elders and knowledge keepers in the community. So we made sure we were all on the right track. And then we basically locked it down and said, this is what we will do as a board forever and a day until Armageddon happens. These are what we will be doing. So it's basically a full implementation for perpetuity. So not, this is a one year commitment and then it just kind of goes away, or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever they committed to will be with the board forever and ever. So just to give, I'm not going to go through all of them, to give you an idea. So they were asked to commit an action. So an action was a broader statement. And then they were asked to, they're a strategy, then asked to give a actionable something they would do. And then this year, so it's a 1-year anniversary, we went back and said, okay, based on your action that you committed to, what have you done? So the original actions, there within the 8 departments, there was 24 actions committed to. Most of them were full implementation within a year. Some departments had some bigger items, so there were 2 more 2-year. I think there's one that was a 3-year because it was pretty big. So all of the 1-year items were completed this year, and in total there was 24. And the examples that were given that will be showcased on Tuesday, there were 58 actual things that were completed within the board. That's 58 different things that across the departments were committed to. Were actually committed, actioned, and I got a concrete example of what that looked like. So this activity of review will happen every year so that we can add to the different things that each department has done and committed to. Some of them will be simple. I'll give you an example that we can add to, but it won't be a laundry list. So one of the things is the business department, I believe I mentioned this before, is committed to, or the board is committed to paying the tuition fees for Indigenous employees who wish to become teachers. So if they want to apply for the Indigenous Teacher Education Program and they fill out an application and it's approved, then as long as they stay with the board, we will pay for them to become teachers. Right now, we have 10 people that we have approved, 9 actively going to teachers education programs. And then we have, I'm off the top of my head, something like $19,000 has been committed so far. And I'm just hoping that that will grow. So this last year, 2 more people were added, so that became the 10. And this will be, so that option will be there forever. So hopefully some of you that are on the screen that are employees and maybe teachers might have a colleague in the near future from this program. So that will be a simple update. It could go from, 10, 12, 15, what have you. But other updates will be, say what's happening in the student achievement department. So that's pretty much everything that happens from K to 12. And, we're doing some pretty big things this year which will include research and so on, some literacy. I don't know, Catherine, are you elementary or secondary? Sorry, are you a teacher?
Sorry. No, I'm an EA, not a teacher. Sorry, I just had to unmute and find the unmute button. No, I'm just an EA, In
elementary, there's no just an EA. You're not just an EA. There's no just an EA. Are you kidding me? You're an EA.
No,
it's fantastic. With a
I am
capital
an
E.
EA. I am an EA. I can do both elementary and secondary, but I just spend my time in elementary. Secondary kids scare me. So.
Okay, and I know, Natricia, you're secondary, correct? You can nod.
No, I'm elementary as well. I'm an EA / child and youth worker.
Oh, right, but you do the Banting thing because of the robotics.
Because of the robotics.
So, just a quick thing. I won't go through all of the things, but two big examples are embedding Indigenous perspectives into structured literacy, grade 3 and 4 was a huge project, and indigenizing grade 9 geography is another one. And then there's, we've had PD sessions on assessment and PD and a laundry list of things. But that's an example of where things every year can be added to that will be very much fulsome, and other examples are much smaller because it's a big initiative, but less to report on, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited because that's, 58 actual things that have happened and 24 actual actions to commit to is quite a lot. And I believe from our Indigenous education representative for the ministry, we're the only board that has actually done it this way. Instead of doing a full board 8-10 commitments, every department has had to put it down on paper so that we can action it and it won't go away. So we'll always have 24 actions. It's just what that looks like will be different in our updates. So I'm going to end it there so that I can have something for you for next meeting. But I see Catherine has a question, so fire away.
I do have a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, not just an EA. That's what you're going to be called now. Not just an EA.
Well, I am not just an EA. I am also a registered social worker with education in Indigenous social work. So
lovely.
Yeah. So my question, I have twofold. One, is there a publicly accessible webpage that has this information that people in our school communities can go and see where we're at with the status of this, similar to how Indigenous Watchdog keeps track of the calls to action?
So is that the Yellowknife? No, not Yellowhead Institute. Is that what you're referring to? As a watchdog?
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we actually used a bit of their ideas as a framework, because I looked at, for those of you who don't, they look at the country's commitments to reconciliation, and they have like a grid with all of them on there, and they color code the ones that are done and ones that are not. And what really resonated with me and why I really want to do this was, I think up until 2 years ago, there was only, I don't know if you remember, Kath, like 8 that were actually actioned. Like it was unbelievably poor.
That were green. Yeah.
Yeah. So
a lot were in progress, but a number of them were either not started or not able to continue on. There was like some stall at it. So yeah, there was a very few amount that are actually green.
And I didn't want that to happen. That was what I didn't want to happen,
Yeah.
right? I wanted, this is what you can
Yeah.
commit to for full implementation. And this is what we're going to do. So we are going to have a full 24 greens kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're reading my mind. So yes, we're developing posters for this event on Tuesday. And then what we will do is we're working with Jamie Campbell and the communications department to actually take that and make it into a public facing document, digital and otherwise. And then there'll be other things involved, right? There'll be the narrative as to why we're doing this. There'll be the connections to, resources like you mentioned. There'll be kind of that front facing piece. And then we're going to make it look beautiful. And have it so that, yes, 100%, I would like an actual physical copy in every school, and I would obviously a digital copy, because that, one of the things we found, and you may agree with me on this, is that, like, I know we do a lot of wonderful stuff in the board and this department, but it's not out in the community. So this is another, the community needs to know that, there's 24 actions that will happen forever and 58 examples of what has happened this year alone. So that's great news, right? These are really good things. One of the things that came out of this, and Catherine and Tricia for sure will know this, and hopefully the rest of you, is the blue flag that was flown in June that went up for the week, the Indigenous flag. That was created, the impetus was from the employees on the Indigenous education team, right, wanting to do something that's a positive, as opposed to, because the very first year we flew the Every Child Matters flag, and that they found that trauma inducing. So they said, we need to do something different. So that was the spark to take our logo and do some other things and modifications with communications and so on for that beautiful flag. So that is a celebration of, which is what it should be, right? And that's just a tiny example. That's one of the things that communications, that's an example on this list that they helped with the Indigenous Ed department. But it's pretty big stuff. It's pretty cool. So, and once some of these things are actually done, they're done, and they will be there, and like looking at spec ed, right? Things like DI, like those things are always great things to do. So yes to the document. And what was your second question?
That you answered my question. So yes, that's it. I'm really happy to hear that we'll have something like publicly viewable to see, because I feel like there will also be some items on there that will have a broader impact, and parents may not know where that came from, where that action really started. So it'd be good for them to also know, especially if they're not involved in Indigenous education, that this is where this initiative began, was because of the commitment to that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And yeah, if it's too bad you won't be around on Tuesday, unless you are around on Tuesday to kind of see it. I went through and edited. I mean, it's never going to be 100% perfect but I just went through, and there were reams and reams and reams of paper, right? It's like, oh my God, like this department has got 4 pages to show what they've done and the examples. Like it was heartwarming, to say the least. So yeah, thank you. Any other questions? I'd be happy to answer.
Well,
or bring
thanks
them.
for the job that you are doing. It seems to be like very, very. I feel that you have a really high impact in the community with this, so we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. And you can probably feel the passion in my voice, but it also mimics like what you heard from Robin, right? And his passion with the Take a Hike and the other things. Like, we are doing some really wonderful things that we need to celebrate. Like we know we do. And we're happy about it. And we're always going to continue to do it regardless. So I think Liz had a question. Liz, did you? Or you're on mute, Liz. think it's at the top. Let me see if I can unmute you.
You're not muted, but we cannot hear you. Are you able to put it in the chat?
Maybe Susan's not the only one to have tech issues.
Watch the chat.
Anybody else have a question while Liz is typing that I'm more than happy to answer?
So for me, it's not so much of a question, it's more of a comment. I remember before Indigenous education was a standing item where we started from and where we are, like the grassroots, and to hear how much we've evolved and how much learning and growth has happened in this department. It's truly phenomenal. And I am so thankful that I am able to sit at this table to learn and grow about what's happening in a world that some of us never really thought about a few years ago. But here we are to be embedded and saturated and to learn more about someone else's culture, which is equally as important as ours. So I am thankful that you're here each and every month as a standing item to continue to build and grow in this area and share what's happening within the school and the education department. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for those kind words. It is appreciated.
May I ask a question, please?
Absolutely. So I
Do
don't
you
know
have
who.
any? This is Rachel. Sorry.
Oh,
I
okay.
have a question. Do you have any kind of numbers in regard to student indigenous that are part of the Simcoe County that you can share that and how I know that you mentioned about the program for the teachers, but what about the children? If you have any kind of information about that.
About the number of students or the types of programs?
Both, actually. Thank you.
Well, the first one's easy, the second one is not. So I looked it up the other day. It's over 3,000. I remember the percentage. It was 5.56, I think. If I remember,
5.6.
yeah, of the total. So it's 3,000 and change. And it continues to grow because I remember at the beginning, last time I looked at it at the end of the year, it was like 2,997 or something. So every time I look at it, it gets bigger, which is great. We want students to self-identify.
And how many of those are graduated and succeed and continue education?
So our graduation rate continues to be lacking the overall population. However, it is improving. So one of the reasons why, there's a number of reasons why we are, so part of the reasons for this reconciliation, and there's a huge area initiative that I don't want to go through now because that's a whole hour conversation. I can update you later. We talk about two things. We talk about improving student achievement, but we also talk about closing the gap. So typically when we do things in schools, talking about student achievement, the student achievement will go up, but if there's a gap between different groups that still go up, there's still a gap. So right now, if it's like this, sorry, I want it to be like this, right? I want it to merge at some point. So that is what I hope to happen with a lot of these initiatives and all the actions that we're doing in the classroom. We also have the largest Indigenous department in the entire province. I think that I'm going to make this up because I've only been to meetings with people. Other departments have, probably the biggest department is maybe 10. We have 35, including myself. We have a principal of Indigenous education. We've seconded a vice principal now to get all this wonderful stuff going in and hopefully to where we need it to get. But we also have an assistant manager of Indigenous education who herself is Indigenous. So we actually have 3 administrators in the department. Most have a manager, maybe a principal. So we're going to end up with an assistant manager and a principal, because I'm going to lose the VP because I'm just funding that now. But we have 10 grad coaches, we have 7 student advisors, we have 3 social workers, we have our own designated attendance counselor. We just hired the only one in the province. I will repeat this, the only one in the province. We just hired a dedicated junior research analyst for Indigenous education. That's right.
This is amazing. But if,
sorry?
But with your, this is amazing. But with your expertise, with your knowledge, with your experience, what do you think that we, as a PIC member, or even as a volunteer, or can we how help to? Because you see the end of the line with the teachers, which is wonderful, but you said that there is struggle with the graduation of the student. How can we help? How can we make a difference?
So that's a great question. So we've got our, and you make a good point, because we have our things in place. Like this year, for the last 3 years, we've 31 Indigenous students. We have a summer program, a very specific land-based program. I think it's been 31, 30, and 31, like 100% completion rate for these Indigenous students going into grade 9 with a credit, a geography credit, it's land-based credit. So that's one thing. So there's a lot of things that can be done, curriculum, like for student achievement. But to your point, I think that when you go into schools, talk to the schools about how they're indigenizing their spaces. How, what kinds of things, indigenous, and sorry, let me reframe this. All of the things I'm saying when I say Indigenous, in brackets, I would also include diversity, equity, inclusion, right? Because it shouldn't be just going into a school and I want to see indigenized spaces, literature, curriculum, scopes and sequence, like all of those things happening. But if you only focus on one thing, you miss the bigger picture. There should also be people of color, people of different religions, cultures, ethnic backgrounds. Like people should walk into schools and see themselves ideally in some way, shape, or form. So I just wanted to say that out loud because I think that's extremely important. I come at it from a specific lens. So the things you can do when you go into your schools is just friendly ask, hey, how do I see myself in this school? And have a conversation. And I'll be honest, sometimes you won't see it, but it's there, right? So don't assume that it's not there if you can't see it. Like there might be some awesome things going on 5 feet away or a classroom away that's going on. But, the only way I know to do things differently is, people to say, hey, you know what? I go into schools with a lens, I kind of block off what my role, and I go into schools looking, so does Robin, so does Susan. We go in as a role, so does Ben, so does Jamie, but we go in saying, okay, let me look at this from a different set of eyes, right? Can I see things differently? And is there something that we can do? So oh, there you are. I couldn't see you before. So as a parent going in, it's nice to know, what we might be.
So let me ask maybe a more specific question, if you don't mind, which is wonderful what you answer, and I appreciate that. But if we go back to the Indigenous, and I'm not talking about other minority, we're talking just about the Indigenous, the background of the Indigenous, as I read, and how can you expect a grade 9 student to succeed if he comes from a house that there is no food, nutrition, or running water? So does your program, or do you work with other programs that combine any kind of help in that matter? And that's why I'm not going to other minority, because we are talking about indigenous, and this is your expertise.
Yeah, so there's a number of things, and every situation is different, but we'll try to put in structures that will support students. So a student you described, right? Some could be fully into the description, some could have a little bit in, and anywhere in between, right? So we have two alternative schools called Seventh Fire, one in Midland, one in Rama, to support students that don't go to school, that struggle with some. And again, I hate to say it, but it's true. We're the only program in the province that has a specific Indigenous-based program for just high school students on First Nations land, and that's the one at Rama. So we have a total, absolutely beautiful relationship with them. So we rent space from them. They support the children in lots of other areas besides education, and we support the education.
And this is knowledge that no one knows, and this is maybe something that should be shared, because as you say before that, you're proud and you celebrate some stuff, but this is more important for me.
That's right, and that hopefully will be in another document that we get out. So I'm working on a couple of documents, and the last thing I'll say is you mentioned about food insecurity. So as Susan and Robin and Ben know, there's we work with community organizations to support, and it depends on your community. I know I was in Midland, and there was a group that would bring baskets of food from the farm, and so every area has different things. However, interesting you mentioned that, because this is the second year that the Indigenous Department has given specific money to every single school, elementary, secondary, for food, for cultural feasts, for just food, for anything that way. So Ben's in a school, actually my former school, but if Ben, that school wants to run a feast at winter solstice for the students and anybody, there's money that's already being allocated to the school to do that, so it doesn't have to come out of the school's funds. Or if they wanted to bring in Bannock, every once in a while, that's culturally specific, but it's also good for all students, and they want to have that at their warm food cart at the beginning, by the office. That's what it's for. And I encourage the schools to do their own thing, because there's not a bucket of money, but every single school, all 88 elementary and 16 secondary schools have been given money for these things.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for your time and for the detailed answer. I truly appreciate it, and I'm very, very happy about that. I wasn't even aware, so thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I think somebody else, Catherine, is that right? Correct?
Yes, just me again. I'll be really quick. I think one thing that's really important to note is that each school is capable of doing what they need for their own population too, especially when it comes to food insecurity and things like that, because not every school has the same needs. So my children's school specifically, one of the parent council members took an initiative to start a food producing garden. So on our property, we have a garden that is producing vegetables. We have some fruit trees that have been planted that will be fostered and nurtured and produce that in the future as well. It's also involving the children, like the school community, in the care of that garden and the harvesting of that garden. And then that food is also going into the snack bowls that we prepare that go into the classrooms every day. So it was a way to lower our costs of the nutrition program that we run using the sharing place. And then also there's another initiative that we began last year, the Good Food Box, which is farmer's produce box that the school can become a pickup site for. So families for a relatively low cost can purchase a produce box that's seasonal. And they can there's also the opportunity to donate boxes and for families to be recipients of that box as well. And there's a couple of different organizations in the area that also supply food for families in need in a discreet way and an accessible way. So it's also like zooming out of just an Indigenous lens and taking it to a full population lens. There are a lot of other initiatives and things that the school communities can do specifically for their populations and keeping their communities fed and well. So just as a soapbox.
I have one more question, and I'm going to be quick too. Does your school have to apply for these funds, or like, are they just allocated and like the principal would know? How would we go about?
For the Indigenous, so I gotta just jump on kind of Catherine's piece as well. She said, like, that you could theoretically use those funds or the school funds. If you're gonna do a garden, you could also do the Three Sisters garden, right? So that another Indigenous lends into that, right? Bean, squash, and corn. But the money is the way it works is just to make sure we can organize the funds is that. So Ben has put in there that they are having a feast in October. So the school will pay whatever for the feast, then they will send us what they have paid, and then we reimburse the school for the funds.
Okay,
Is that-
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I know our school does a breakfast program. They just started it. So I wonder if that's what they're using, or I could find out. So I was just curious.
It's ideally for things like Ben is doing, a feast, but it's also for food. Like I really like if they want to get food, nutritious food for Indigenous and other kids, like they can use it for that too. So to your point, yes, it doesn't have to be like only the Indigenous kids are going to benefit from the funding. It's not, totally not. But because the ministry allocates funds to Indigenous education, it has to be connected to Indigenous to somehow,
to some degree,
right? For the funds, for the funds to be allocated, right? So, everybody in Ben and GBD is going to benefit from the feast. It's just a cultural event, right? So
yeah, okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, if you have any more questions, bring them next time or send them through camera, whatever. I know that you have more on the agenda, so
you can take over the meeting. You can take over the meeting. You're doing a mighty fine job.
Miss Wilson, I do not want to take over the meeting. No, I do not, but I am happy to
I was going to play the music, at the Oscars when it's time to go.
Yep. I'm happy to discuss at any time and as well as your input, because some of the things that have come out are from me just going into schools and saying, right? So I think, and not that anything was not done well or whatever, but there's always room for improvement. So I am hoping that I can speak later to a huge 3-year initiative that I would like to speak to in another 3 years, and you will say to me, this is wonderful. But right now, I'm getting the electric shocks from Susan. You can't see it, but it's there. So I will be quiet now and pass it back over to Ms. Wilson for the agenda.
Well, I thank you so much, John. That was a wealth of knowledge, and I look forward to everything else that's in store for our school. Thank you so much for being here tonight with us. And so as we move along to the other information that's on our agenda for tonight, PIC annual report. We have completed our annual report, which will be submitted to the ministry. Kim, are you able to share that report with us?
Yeah, I'm just getting it now.
Okay. So this report will be an appendix to our minutes for approval for the board in October.
Sorry, one second.
Oh my,
Can you see it?
quite small. I think it's my screen
Okay.
overlapping.
I can make it bigger. Okay, so this is the ministry mandated report that you all have as well. So you have to do your school council annual report at the end of each year, which is due to the superintendent's office by September 30th, if you haven't done it yet. So the ministry requires us to share these details about our school council. And it's just a very slim overview. So in the beginning, you're going to say who's on your committee. So this was ours for last year, all of our members, including staff. And then we have our list of meeting dates that we had last year. So the activities and overview. So for your school council, you're going to share everything you did throughout the year with your schools. So here's ours. And if you want, when I send you the minutes for approval, which I can do electronically, but we will approve them at our next meeting, you'll see all of this. So you don't need to take the time to read it now, but if you want, I can send it to you. And then you always have to share the money that you spent and what you spent it on. So this is what we did for last year as well. So this will go, as Melissa said, or we'll say as an appendix to our minutes, because all of our minutes go to board. So that's why I think I'm going to send this electronically, because we're hoping to send this to October board for approval, because there is a deadline for the annual reports for school council and for PIC. I'm sure you all know that parent involvement is huge right now within the board. So we want to make sure that we're sharing everything and that we are open about all of our committees and everything that we're doing. And we hope to do way more this year. Go ahead, Melissa. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, so Kim, for that update. And so, as Kim had mentioned, please stay tuned for that information in your inbox and approach it with whatever is required of you to do for your school. Thank you again, Kim. The next information on our agenda is our Connection Night is coming up. So some of you have been a part of Connection over a number of years. So if I've been a part of Connection, it's an amazing way for our schools to connect. You are able to connect with other families of school, parent council members, parent council representative. We're able to network for PIC, we have vendors that show up at, that's presented at our Connection Night for fundraising initiative ideas, along with breakout rooms that's always there for our edification and how best we can support our school community, how we navigate our school board website and everything that's happening within our school environment. And so we are also looking for feedback as to any ideas, topic, things that you would like to hear about, speak about, at our Connection Night that's happening in October. So some of the topics that will be on our agenda for our upcoming Connection Nights, it's safe and welcome in school. And so we generally have our breakout room, which are absolutely amazing. Accounting, school funds, mental health and well-being, special education, human rights and equity office, math and artificial intelligence. So at this time, I'm going to open the floor to anyone that has anything further that they would like to add as topics that you would like to hear us speak about for our Connection Nights. And Susan and Kim, please jump in if I am missing anything at any given time to share with our new members.
I will say this is sorry, Susan. I will say this is the highest we've ever had for vendors. We've never had this this excitement from them and wanting to join.
Yes, so we're looking at 30 vendors for our connection, which is absolutely amazing. No. Can't
Hi.
hear you, Carla. You're muted.
Oh,
Catherine
Carla, do you want
has
to
a
go first?
question. No,
Yeah.
Catherine has a
Oh, Catherine, do you want to go?
So
And
go
then I'll
ahead,
get
Fatima.
to.
Go ahead, Fatima. You go first.
Okay, thank
It's all
you.
good.
So in terms
Go
of
ahead.
topics, I know last year one of the breakout rooms was like fundraising, and I just find a lot of new council members that attend the Connections event find that one really useful, because when they're joining school council, it's all about fundraising, mostly primarily. And I was wondering if there was going to be anything about like fundraising in this Connections meet.
Yes, I can confirm that we will have a speaker to talk about fundraising. We had a packed house last time.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Do we, I know we have a lot of vendors, it's 30, which is an incredible number for fundraising, which is amazing. Do we have any vendors for food for programs? Like I know somebody just said that they're doing, I apologize, my dogs are about to lose their minds. We have somebody just starting a breakfast program. I think Carla said that for their school. We are trying to expand our breakfast and snack program, but funding, we try to fundraise, but sometimes our funds don't get allocated where we would hope them to. So is there, long-winded, I will wrap this up, anyone there that will be more affordable or low to no cost food?
So we do have a number of individual vendors who are really not there for fundraising, but to introduce school councils to the different programs that are available. And so I know that the list is not finalized, and I'm hoping to have additional people who will come support with nutrition and breakfast ideas.
And so if I can add to that, I know in the past, a lot of our vendors that we have used sometimes even for a hot lunch program, and Robin can speak to this as well, along with Carla and possibly Sinem. We generally partner with them and ask them to provide additional lunch. So whether it's one or two, however many, and they've always been receptive to providing any additional lunch that they can. Sometimes it's an extra pizza because we just never know. Somebody may have forgotten their lunch that day. So the vendors that we've had in the past and that we've ended up partnering with for whether it's fundraising initiative or hot lunch program, they've always been very receptive to working with the school in any way possible. That's been my experience.
Can I say something too? So for
Go
our
ahead.
breakfast program, like Melissa said, our hot lunches, we partnered with Zuka's and Caesar's Pizza, and they are amazing in sending extra food, or even at the school, if somebody's absent and the parents don't claim it, we keep it to for other kids, and we freeze it. But I know in our community last year, the way they started this is they went to Zehrs. We live in Bradford, and they went to Zehrs and they just said, like, if there's any way they could donate some bananas, apples for breakfast. And that's part of what we have there. Something that's like just to go, the kids could grab to go. And that's who's donating for us, for our school, for the breakfast program. It's only twice a week. It's not every day, but it helps.
Okay, so just to clarify, we are our parent councils are allowed to go and do that, because in the past there's been some uncertainty as to whether we're allowed to approach places like theirs or Walmart, things like that, to ask for donations. There's been some like uncertainty as to whether or not we're actually allowed to do that.
Our school
Susan?
didn't.
Susan, you wanna
I'm either
speak
going to
towards
get in
that?
trouble right now.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we just weren't sure if we were allowed to do that. But I'm guessing that would be is that a PIC decision? Like, is that something that we decide, or is that a board decision?
So what I'm going to say is that we're always excited to partner with new vendors. Over to you, Carla.
Okay. All right. I like the way you phrased that. Thank you very much, Susan.
I think that, sorry, just quickly,
Tracy?
I think I think that the restrictions like around asking certain businesses is because that Eat Well to Excel that all the schools get come from it's a group of Costco, Walmart. There's like three of them or something that combine that Breakfast Program Canada that donate that 2,800 I think it is, or 2,500 to each school for the Eat Well to Excel. I think that was more of like they're already donating to the school board, so going to ask Costco. And I found out from going to talk to Costco about that. But I was gonna actually bring up the same thing about a suggestion, just because I have been working with our school nurse that's been assigned to us through the Muskoka District Health Unit, and working with them themselves as well. Um, on food programs, because when we started our food program a few years ago, it's a nightmare. Like they have this list of approved foods that you're allowed to use, but it's like to have every single school go to the grocery store and look at all of the ingredients. And like, I just feel like there should be a better list or a better startup. So I know that, and they do have a lot more information actually. If you speak to your school nurse, they do have resources through the health unit of grants and other things that are available to schools to apply for. But you don't know that unless you ask. So maybe someone from the health unit could, like, I think that would be really helpful, because I think that's a huge gap in schools is the food programs.
For sure. And thank you for that, Tracy. I can speak a little bit towards Eat Well to Excel, being a representative on Eat Well to Excel. So schools get funding. I'm trying to be like Susan. Schools, you get funding, but the need sometimes is greater in certain areas. So they also have to look at that as well and say, okay, so your school might get $500. You might need a top up. However, another school in another region is in dire need, right? And so at times we know that whatever funding is offered through Eat Well to Excel, it's not enough. And so schools, they have to look at alternative ways of figuring out how do we supply additional snacks for our students. Because Eat Well to Excel, it's great, but you need community partners to partner with the schools, with Eat Well to Excel, so our children can attend school and thrive and not thinking about what's happening in their tummy.
Yeah, what we discovered last year was we had our standard snack bowls that had all of the shelf stable things that I think everybody pretty much gets across the board. And when we started introducing some produce or some proteins, some cheese, some yogurt, things like that, we went from we went from thinking we were feeding at most 10 kids we have a very small school, we're only 250 kids. We thought maybe we were feeding 10. And we are feeding pretty much every kid in our school now, whether there is, extenuating need financially in their families. Like it's a pretty broad program now, and our bowls are coming back pretty well empty every day. When we were doing 2 bowls a day, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., we weren't having a lot coming back to our snack room. So yeah, the funding, it would be nice if we could figure out a way to like really boost that somehow.
Thank you, Rachel. And so, Carla, were you? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is for Connections Night.
Okay.
I was thinking, is there any way we could do something specifically for the chairs? Like, I know when I was a chair, I was new. It was a new school, and I had an amazing principal who actually guided me and helped me so much, but not everybody has that. And so if you don't have that support and that person that's guiding you, you're lost. So if there's any way we could do something for the chairs and vice chairs that helps them know what they can do, what they can't do, or like kind of just a guideline of what to do that night since they're going to be there.
I agree with you. And Kim has her hand up, but I'm going to piggyback on what Carla said so Kim can just do a twofold answer. I totally agree with what Carla is saying because we've had this discussion multiple times in the past, and you're sort of like left in the wind if you don't have an amazing principal who's going to partner with you and walk you through each step. You are left to figure things out for yourself in a nutshell. And so we know sometimes council chair, they remain in their position for years and someone else will take over. But in the meantime, no one else is being mentored, right, to take over when they leave. So whenever they go, they leave with this wealth of knowledge and you are unaware of what it is that comes next, how to fill out these forms, whatever it is that's required of you, even to chair a very meeting, right? Because sometimes you sit there and you're present in body, but not in mind. Right. And so for you, you're like, it is not important, right? You're there, but you're not really there. And you miss a lot of things. And now here is an opportunity and you're like, yeah, I want to do this, but I really don't know how to navigate, right? And sometimes they're unaware of their bylaws. So I feel like we need to go back to the drawing board for school council chair to understand the purpose of their bylaws, where to locate them, and how to move forward so they can grow as a school council body. And so because they're unaware of what's happening within the school, the numbers tend to dwindle. And sometimes other community members don't want to participate, don't want to be a part of the school council. But in all fairness, sometimes you just don't know because you've not had anyone to steer you in the right direction.
Maybe there is like a one-on-one or like a PDF ready to, maybe there is something that we didn't even think about that to show the new, with all what you said, because I'm sure that there is people that are smarter than us that know all the secrets about in and out that can give the, you know, some kind of cheat sheets for the new members. You are correct. It's an amazing idea.
It's true. And I agree with you, Rachel. But I remember when I joined council and there was a massive binder and it was my willingness to want to learn and to grow and to have, again, an amazing principal by my side and student community partners, parents who wants to be there and to not look at me like I'm losing my mind because I don't know what I'm talking about or stumbling over my words like tonight, trying to navigate this new venture, right? And so we're in it together. And most of the time, you don't even realize that. So things get missed, right?
So
So
I do want to say that thank you to Jamie and Tracy for the input. We are in the midst of creating a web page. It is under parents and then pick for school council chairs, the forms that they need to fill out, the things, the bylaw things that they need to do. So that is currently being created. We are testing a couple of things, and I know this was, you know, Tracy did provide some feedback, so I don't know if you want to share that right now. I know I'm putting you on the spot for that, but it is, and this has been expressed for some time now because, you know, as a parent, you go into this school, it's a big school, and, you know, there's all kinds of kids running around, and you have a new administrator, and, you know, you have someone like when Superintendent Dashney used to be a principal, you know, you had him there who was all welcoming and, you know, lovely to work with. And so he imparted a lot of wisdom and helped parent council along, right? And sometimes, you know, we also have new principals who have not been in that role. So they're trying to figure out their role and then, you know, trying to help council figure out their role. So it's a lot of, you know, trial and error that happens. But like I said, you know, Jamie is in the process of adding forms and whatnot to our webpage, and Tracy has been instrumental in providing feedback around those pieces. It is going to take some time as we build this so that we can move forward with more information to support new council chairs and vice chairs. So I don't know if you want to add anything there, Tracy.
No, that was great. I saw what Jamie did. I think it's great. And it's just like basically just making it easier for people to access information so it's not so overwhelming that you have to go searching for stuff. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. I think it's going to be really helpful. The only other thing I was going to add to the suggestion is I know last year at the Connections event, I met a school council chair from Aurelia who was the only member on her school council. The parents didn't run any fundraising. The school ran all the fundraising. She had no idea that she had her own email, which I will say, I don't know about everyone else on this committee, but I have never heard back from any of my schools, which like I am the chair of one of the schools, but the other 3 schools that are under my pick, like I've never heard back from them. I just joined one of the other schools because my daughter's now at the high school now. And so I went to their school council on Monday, and a parent actually brought up, they're like, why don't we get these updates anymore from the parent involvement? And I'm like, well, actually, I'm the member, and I sent all the things to the chair. And they were like, oh, we didn't know how to access that email. So I think maybe just more interaction from the pick, maybe not just, I know that the meetings are convenient for everyone to have online, but maybe more like personable things with the individual groups of schools that you have, and even the opportunity, which I know it's there, that if someone does need help or need assistance, like I love the connection event because you get to network. But just to say, hey, you're my pick representative, like, would you be able to come to our school council meeting and help? Like, I've never chaired before. Like that poor girl last year had no idea what she was doing. She was just kind of thrown to the wolves, and she was like, just had no clue. And it was so sad. Like, I have been fortunate to have an amazing principal that's kind of guided, but not everyone has that. And yeah, it just made me sad last year to know that she was going through that by herself.
To
Can I
that
say
note,
something?
are we,
Oh,
can I
sorry,
ask
go
a
ahead.
really quick question? Sorry.
Go
Are
ahead.
we allowed to CC or include the principals of the schools that are in our area in our email to just make sure, I think are we allowed to like CC them in our emails, the principals, sorry, to make sure that the chairs are also getting them? Like, is that something that we can do?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Okay. Just so that we can hopefully mitigate that instance of them not even knowing that there is an email for the chair.
Yeah, there is. And you
So I
can.
will say in the past, anytime a chairperson emails me from their personal email, I always say that communication through the chairperson email is needed. But I do want to say exactly, Tracy, you are absolutely right. In the past years, we have changed the passwords to the school council chair's email, so we know we can monitor who's using them. That is something that we can do again if you guys want to. We've stopped over the past couple years, but that we can see who's using it. And then also, Jamie will be showing the public page today that Tracy did help with. And if you have anything that you want to add, just let us know. And I also wanted to say, if any of you are a chairperson, maybe Chairperson Wilson wants to have a breakout room at Connections, that may be helpful, and you can do a room specifically for new chair people or chair people that have been in that position and have all these questions that you guys have now, because who better to answer the questions than the person that have done it, right? So if that's something you want to do, let me know, and I can absolutely add that breakout room to the registration. I don't think that we've actually publicly shared it as much yet. We're going to be doing advertising, and that's the funding that you guys approved to tonight. So we will be paying for advertising for the evening. And so before that happens, we can add the new breakout room for individuals. And then we will also send out that email closer to for them to choose which ones they want to do. Or if you want to do what we did last year, they just choose it when they get there. and where they want to go, and they choose 2 breakout rooms, and we've given 6 opportunities now. So with this add one, it would be 7, and then they would just choose which one they want to go to. But if someone wants to volunteer to run that breakout room, that'd be fantastic, and I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thank you, Kim. And I think we should add it. And everyone can choose which breakout room they want to be a part of.
Are you volunteering to run it?
I guess I
Yes,
am.
Awesome.
Happy to run that. Sure, why not? Any other questions, comments? Can we move along? Okay. Thank you guys so much for your participation. So we're just going to jump over to our trustee update, and then we'll pedal backwards to our PIC members update. So at this time, if I'm not mistaken, Susan, I think Trustee Grammett, she
Yeah,
came
Trustee
up.
Grummett had to leave, but Trustee Connors is
Connor.
here.
Okay.
Hello.
Trustee Connors. Hi.
So,
do you have an update for us?
Well, I can give you a few things. We were updated on the elementary learning centers in supporting students with special needs, the Ophia Healthy Schools. We have 102 out of 104 were gold, and the other 2 were silver. So that was amazing. We got an update on assessment and accumulating tasks and feedback recovery and improvement days, the summer learning program, and the capital funding was announced on September 8th. And the list was approved last night, and it is going in for the October 8th deadline. So
That's
I think that's about it.
That was brief and straight to the point. Thank you.
Well,
Trustee
we just
Connor.
started up. It's just the first few meetings of the board.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Now we're moving. Susan, would you like me to pedal backwards or continue with the staff update?
It is your meeting, my friend.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to have the staff update, and Superintendent, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So we had a smooth start to the beginning of the school year. As students transitioned back from the summer, there were lots of smiling faces, and particularly from those parents who thought it was a very long summer. And then we had some tears from other parents who were just kind of not letting go of their little learners, the JK students that we have there. So they did have some tears, and lots of photographs were being taken. And I recall Director Stevens making a comment to say these little JK kids, they're not graduating high school until 2034. That's a long time. Anyways, so SCDSB also acknowledges Rowan's Law, and Rowan's Law was named for Rowan Stringer, a high school rugby player from Ottawa who died in the spring of 2013 from a condition known as second impact syndrome, and that is the swelling of the brain by subsequent injuries that occurred before the previous injury had healed. Rowan is believed to have experienced 3 concussions over 6 days while playing rugby. She had a concussion but didn't know her brain needed time to heal, and neither did her parents, teachers, or coaches. So Rowan's Law and Rowan's Law Day were established to honor her memory and bring awareness to concussions and concussion safety. The last Wednesday of each September has been designated a Rowan's Law Day to help raise awareness about concussion safety. As you probably have noticed that our annual Terry Fox Run is happening in some of our elementary schools. It is an annual Canada-wide event that helps to raise money and awareness for cancer research, and schools traditionally participate in this event during the last weeks of September and the first week of October, depending on weather. So yes, it is getting a little chilly out there. October oh, this is a good one, is also Cyber Awareness Month. The topic is cyber hygiene, and we want to emphasize the importance of being proactive to protect yourself and your family from potential cyber threats, especially with students that are coming back to school. The topic provides practical tips on maintaining strong passwords, recognizing phishing attempts, and using multi-factor authentication to safeguard personal information. So again, very important that you tell your little ones that you know, unless you recognize who that is, don't click on that that link because you didn't win a new car. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. You didn't win a new car. It's good
No,
to
I
know.
didn't.
Okay, my apologies. Thank you so much for your update. And we are moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is the principal update. Principal Cook or Vice Principal McCabe?
Yeah, so I'm going to do the update for both Lindsay and myself. Lindsay sent me all these beautiful notes, some of which Superintendent Sablovsky just handled. So I'll go quickly through our updates. As was said, it has been the beginning of the year. We're still in September for a few more days, and we were welcoming back elementary and secondary students to our schools, getting started with some of our goals for mental health. So we often do we don't often, every year we do the first 10 days, which is provided by Ontario Mental Health, and the first 20 days of literacy and numeracy in elementary schools, where we start to get our students back into school, getting to know them, spending time, in those first couple of weeks, getting students feeling good about being in school and getting to know their teachers. We really talk about building relationships first before we move on with student achievement, because we know how important that is to build that safe classroom. We've done lots of different events already. We're doing our safety procedures, so fire drills, evacuation drills, all of those things are happening in schools. We're also having open houses in many of our schools, so both elementary and secondary having open houses to welcome back our families and getting to see all the students with their families. We did do the Terry Fox run and fundraising in school. So again, both elementary and secondary were having Terry Fox events. As was said, the 30th on Tuesday is National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And so every school has events planned to recognize that day and also to bring awareness. Many of our schools have actually already started that work weeks ago and lead up to the 30th. As Superintendent Playford said, it's different in each school because we're working with our school students and community to make these events happen. Field trips have already started. Sports are starting. We have all kinds of teams already out on the fields, and everything from volleyball to soccer to golf to all kinds of things going on in the schools. So it's been a great start. And just from reading Lindsay's notes here, lots of things happening in elementary and secondary.
Thank you so much for that update. It's wonderful to hear all the amazing things that's happening in your school environment. And so as we step backwards for a minute, are there any update from our PIC members from your school? Anything you'd like to share?
May I use, it's just like a proposal. I don't know if it's possible or not, but could be possible to have like an event in the building, like we do the barbecue, like the one that we was playing as a kids, like if we can organize something like that, but with the school council chairs, so to be more engaged with them, like, because I love to go there, and it was so amazing and so beautiful being there. I remember all of us laughing, and it can be like a really nice day. It doesn't need to be barbecue. Maybe if we just bring like a bottle of water or something like that, just to share with the school council chairs, to be more engaged and connected with them. I don't know if that's possible, or maybe that's a crazy idea. I don't know.
No idea is a crazy idea, but if I'm hearing you correctly, before Susan chimed in, are you suggesting that we invite the school council chairs to our end of year barbecues in that regard? Or
I mean, if we can do that before, like not to wait until the end, like maybe we can have like 2 events at the
To
end, one
welcome?
that Susan and Kim always organize, and another previous one for PIC members, Susan, Kim, Jamie, all of us with the school council chairs to, just to be more involved, to know them, and they can know us, because sometimes I don't have any answers from them. I don't know them physically, and it can be like at some time just to spend with them and maybe listen them what they need from us, or to be more connected with them.
Right. So have you visited with any of your family of school? Have you reached out to visit their
Visit in
council meeting?
person? No, I'm always in by email. Yeah.
So it's a part of our role and duty is to connect, not just via email, because it's 4 years, so we can spread them out. I'm not sure how many schools you have in total, but for me, I have 9 schools, families of school, and I take the opportunity to visit a school once a month, depending on their council meeting date, because sometimes there's an overlapping, with schools, and family happens, life happens, all that sort of stuff. But I'm making my point a duty to visit as many schools as I can throughout the school year, so they're familiar with who we are, what we do, and how we can best support them. Because I find, and then there's some schools that are more demanding than others that requires more attention. And so I make sure that I take the time to visit and see how best I can support.
That could be possible. I don't know that could be possible, or if that was part of my role. So now that
I will say, sorry, Maria, I just went on what you're saying. We have changed. So there has been like a difference in people wanting to be on PIC. So now it used to be that you're in your area, but it's not anymore. So we can't ask people to go to those schools. So I just wanted to put that out there and say that there are people that have a family of schools that aren't close to their home at all.
So how do you best support those schools, Kim?
So it would be through email, and I'll let Susan chime in on the idea that Maria just gave.
So a couple of things. There are definitely ways to support those schools, and one of the things, and I'm going to say, is right now with technology where we can have Zoom calls and meetings. I can share that a lot of school council meetings that happen they happen in person, but also have a remote opportunity as well, so that if you're not able to make it, you can request to be added on through a Teams or a Zoom. So that is still possible. Most, I would say, school councils still do hybrid. So it is definitely yeah, I know you look at me, but it's true. Some have in person and some have hybrid, because again, we do have schools out in a lot of rural locations where families do want to come, but they can't. Especially in the middle of winter, sometimes it is very difficult with the snow and getting through. But the other piece is sometimes families have little ones at home. And so they want to be a part of school council, but feel that they can't be because they might have a young toddler around that they need to put to bed at 7 o'clock, right? So that is one thing. But Maria, you did make a good point. Kim and I spend a lot of time organizing the year-end barbecue, and a couple of years now we have done the outdoor education with the outdoor equipment that and I think the majority of we've only had good comments. I don't think I've gotten a comment to say, oh gosh, Susan, why are you doing this? So it is a lot of team building, and most definitely, if that is something that you want to do, we are definitely, I can tell you, we can definitely support with that through PIC. We would have to have a motion and we would bring it forward, and then the team would have to vote, because this is also, we can invite, but there is also some money we would need to spend for that day as well.
I promise you not to have the barbecue, just water and coffee.
Okay, no one's coming for water and coffee.
Oh my God, but what about to play? You know, those, it's amazing what we do there.
Yeah, we can definitely play outdoors, no problem. We just need to find an evening that is comfortable for everybody and support that way.
Well, thank you for consider that, Kim and Susan and everyone. Thank you.
You're welcome, Maria. And Nutricia, your hand is up.
Yep. I just wanted to mention that, as you can see behind me, Banting Robotics. There's a meeting going on. I'm doing double duty tonight. But through PIC, I have used my powers of PIC to do the greater good. And this year, the Banting Robotics is expanding their program to the elementary schools. We are starting just in Allison with our closest feeder school, so that the high school students can help set this program up. And they are going to be a part of the first LEGO League through the First Robotics of Canada, which is a worldwide organization that does more than just robotics. So we're really working hard in Allison here to get it up and running, so that we can hopefully eventually expand it to throughout the county.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I saw someone else hand up. Not seeing everyone on my screen. Am I missing anyone?
Yeah,
It was
Rachel.
me, and then I yes, thank you. May I ask a question? I don't know if there's someone, because there is some disruption in my end. I'm sorry. Apparently, the internet is contagious. I have a question. If you ever consider, I know that it's too much and you have a lot of it on your plate, but even the proximity of, I go to 3 different schools in the past, or 4 different schools, now only 2, thank God, the high school and the elementary. Usually they have the meeting at the same time, the same day, same date, the same. So listen, I know that all of us are busy, and I am, but at the end of the day, when you come into those meetings, the council meeting, you see the same faces of parents that want to help. So why don't you help the people that want to help, and maybe tell them, if there is any kind of something to tell, maybe to consider not to do that in the same day? It will be greatly appreciated. Just my suggestion.
Thank you, Rachel. And Kim or Susan, are we able to add to the list, because you brought up the online option for connecting with our school via Zoom, Google Meet, whichever way that platform they're using, but it still goes back to what the school council chair is unaware of that's available to them as an option.
Yeah, we can definitely add that as an option.
Thank you. And so moving along, because time has been far spent, Jamie with the social media update. Thank you. And highlights.
Thanks, Melissa. I'll try and go quick. So for anyone who's new or doesn't recall, this is a section that I talk about the summary that we'll post on social media on the board's account. Just a quick summary of tonight's meeting. So we ask that if you do follow us on socials, to go ahead and like or share those posts. That would really be helpful. If you don't follow us already, I would ask that you do that, because we have already shared some really amazing content throughout the first month of the school year. We've shared some really incredible videos. recently we just shared one about a tennis tournament, a football jamboree, student leadership opportunities, and it's a really, really awesome apple picking adventure. So give us a follow on social. That's just my little plug. But here are the highlights from tonight's meeting. So congratulations to Melissa, who was acclaimed as chairperson of the PIC, and Carla, who was acclaimed as the vice chairperson. Robin Dashney, Assistant Superintendent of Education, and John Playford, Superintendent of Education, provided a summary of initiatives taking place throughout the SCDSB this fall related to mental health and well-being and Indigenous education. Registration is now open for Connections, a can't miss orientation event for school council members happening on October 28th. Learn more and register today on the SCDSB website. School council chairs are encouraged to log into their school council chair email account. A new update from your PIC representative will be shared in the coming days. The next regularly scheduled PIC meeting will take place on November 25th. Learn more about the Parent Involvement Committee, and then I'll put a link to the committee's page. And then I just wanted to mention next week, the Parent Involvement Committee can expect an email from me that's called Highlights from the Parent Involvement Committee, and it will have this summary of the meeting, as well as some links to news videos that we've put out, and also media articles that schools have been covered in. And what we ask is that you forward that email to your school council chair email accounts when you get that. And then lastly, this was kind of already touched on, so I don't know how deep we need to go into it, but this is just a little preview of the page that we talked about earlier. That thank you to Tracy for working with us on providing suggestions. We've kind of put together this dashboard for school councils and school council chairs to really help them in their role. So we've got some key dates on there, links to resources from the ministry as well as the board. We've talked about the school council chair email, so we've got links there to logging in, how to set it up on your phone, and a list of the school council chair email addresses if you need those. And then the form section on the bottom, which as Superintendent Zindlovsky said, we're kind of going to work on building that out and adding things throughout the school year. But if you have any suggestions or there's anything that you find would be helpful, please feel free to share them with Kim, myself, or Superintendent Zindlovsky as well.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much for that update. Correspondence, there is no other correspondence for this meeting. Other matters? Are there any other matters for next meeting? No?
Yes, other matters, just to let everybody know that Connections event, it is on the 28th of October. So please come and network with your chairs, because they will be there. The invitation is being sent out to them, and we do have shirts for each of you. I believe Kim has ordered them. So just to let you know, they are orange for the fall.
That's color.
Color is orange. So thank you for your excitement. Kim is the other person who is really excited about the color orange.
Yes,
but
I like that color. I love that color.
It is very bright.
Yes. So beautiful.
Thank you.
It's going to be at 6 p.m. The meeting is going to be at 6 p.m. in Barrie North.
So at Barrie North, it is at 6, but we always show up at about, well, Kim and I are going to be there at about 4:30. So
vendors start at 5.
Vendors start at 5, but the meeting, the breakout rooms are at 6. But Kim and I will be there a little early. So as usual, if you'd like to come help, that's exactly what I was going to say. We will be there at about 4:30.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving along, are there any notice of motion for our next meeting?
Motion?
Oh, am I seeing your hand? Maria?
Oh, no, everything is perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you had something to say.
Yeah.
And before we close, I am not sure if this is an old hand up for Natricia, or would you like to say something? Maybe she just forgot to take her hand down. That's okay.
Yes, I did. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just forgot to take my hand down. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
oh, that's fine. Thank you so much. So with no further discussion, I would like to make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting. I am not seeing,
Rachel.
first by Rachel. May I have a second?
Kunal.
Kunal.
Kunal raise her hand. Kunal raise
I
her hand.
second it.
Okay. All in favor?
My
Motion-
kids are screaming the house down. at the
Okay, that
moment,
is
so-
fine with me. That's fine. Thank you. Motion adjourned at 8:14 p.m. Thank you all so much for a lovely evening. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your nomination. And I look forward to working alongside you all in the very, very, very near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have
Good
a
luck.
night,
Good luck, my
everyone.
love.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Night.